Good evening, all of you. In SC Academy, in online platform of the SC Academy, we started a series of lectures of the science for class 7 from CBSE or NCERT board. We start the series of the lecture for the chapter named as the heat. We have to already conduct some lectures. I think today is our sixth lecture of the chapter name is the heat. In previous lecture, we discussed about the differences or the what is meant by heat and actually the temperature what is. We can analyze what is meant by heat and also the temperature. What are the difference between the temperature and the heat? We also analyze in previous lectures. We also identify or to know what is meant by temperature. Temperature is the hotness and coldness of the objects, and it measure in SI unit. That SI unit called as the Celsius. Adopted in India. In other countries they can use the Fahrenheit. This conversions also tell in a previous lecture. I already tell the Fahrenheit scale is there, Kelvin scale is there, Celsius scale is there. How to convert and what are the formulas? How do we mention in a previous lecture also? In a previous lectures we done this. We know that. Okay. This is the Fahrenheit scale, Celsius scale, Kelvin scale to measure the temperature, boiling point. Okay. And these are the two formulas are very important. I already discussed in the previous lecture. F minus 32/9 is equal to C by 5 is the first formula to convert the Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit also. And this another formula for Kelvin scale converted into Celsius or Celsius can be converted into Kelvin scale. So these are the conversions from different types of units are according to the temperature. We can convert it from Celsius to Kelvin, Kelvin to Fahrenheit also. We already discussed in the previous lecture. Today's lectures we discuss about yes. Today's lecture we discuss about this page. We start from this page and line by line we are start from there. So basically we discuss about the clinical thermometer. The clinical thermometer records your observation as in a table 4.2. We already discussed that. Is the body temperature of every person is 37 degrees Celsius. We know that the average temperature of the human body is approximately the 37 degrees Celsius. It is not accurate, but it is averagely 37 degrees Celsius, and we use the clinical thermometer to measure the body temperature only. Clinical thermometer are to be used only measure the body temperature because clinical thermometer shows a reading from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Is the limit for the clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer can be shows the reading from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. In between that we take the readings. And we know that approximately the body temperature of the human body is approximately 37 degrees Celsius. For that, we use the clinical thermometer which shows the reading from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. For that, we use only. And we also discuss about the construction and the working of the clinical thermometer. Okay. The temperature of every person may not be 37 degrees Celsius. It can be varies. It can be varies. It's not a constant. It's an average. Average the temperature of a healthy person. Called as the body temperature or average body temperature. It could be slightly higher or slightly lower. Actually, what we call normal temperature is the average body temperature, large number of healthy person. Large number of healthy person, we have to calculate the average temperature. This average temperature is 37 degrees Celsius of a healthy person only. It can be slightly lower of 37 degrees Celsius. It can be higher from the 37 degrees Celsius also. Don't worry for that. Okay. The clinical thermometer is designed. Clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. Okay. Clinical thermometer we can use only to measure the body temperature, not other objects. हम clinical thermometer use करेंगे for measuring the body temperature only or human body temperature only. We cannot measure the temperature of the any other object which is hot or cold. हम कोई दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट के बारे में और उस ऑब्जेक्ट कितना हॉट है कितना कोल्ड है इसका टेम्परेचर मेजर करने के लिए we cannot use the clinical thermometer. Why is this? ऐसा क्यों? हम दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट क्यों नहीं इससे मेजर कर सकते? Other object can be varies their temperatures also, and our clinical thermometer shows the reading only 35 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. If the object is hot, it has a 50 degrees Celsius temperature. By using a clinical thermometer, how you analyze? We cannot analyze because it shows the reading from 35 to 40 only, and the temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. How it measures? No. For that, we use only the clinical thermometer to measure the body temperature only, not the other objects. That is the reason that this thermometer has the range 35 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius only. Another, Bujo got a naughty idea. He wanted to measure the temperature of hot milk using a clinical thermometer. Please stop him from doing so. We cannot measure the temperature of the other object which is very hot, because it cannot show the correct reading of that particular objects, क्योंकि उसका जो रीडिंग है 35 से 42 के बीच में ही आएगा. अगर ज्यादा अगर होता है तो you cannot measure, you cannot see on in that scale are mentioned in clinical thermometer. For that we cannot use. Okay, precautions have to be taken. Do not use the clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any object other than the human body. Also avoid keeping the thermometer in the sun or near the flame. It may break because it's made from the glass. ये किससे बना होता है? It made from the glass. Clinical thermometer जो बना होता है वो glass से बना होता है. It can be break while you putting near the sun or near the hot object. अगर flame है, candle flame है, other flame है, अगर उसके पास हम रखेंगे तो it can be break because it's made from the glass tubes. Glass से बना होता है तो हम वहां पे नहीं रखेंगे. Okay, this is whole about the clinical thermometer. I hope you understand the clinical thermometer and construction also. I already explained the construction and working of the clinical thermometer in the previous lecture. If you miss that lecture, you can continue the first lecture, second lecture. I think the third or fourth lecture we can mention the clinical thermometer and construction of that clinical thermometer. You watch that video or you watch that lecture. You have to get clarify or you get the better idea how the clinical thermometer is work and what are the parts are mentioned in a clinical thermometer. Okay, today we discuss about the laboratory thermometer. It's a laboratory thermometer. Okay, first of all you have to read how do we measure the temperature of other objects. For this purpose there are other thermometers. One such thermometer is known as the laboratory thermometer. The teacher will show you. Yes, okay, no problem. In school they show you that laboratory thermometer. Different types of thermometers are used in a different purposes. The maximum and minimum temperature. This is another type of a temperature. Maximum and minimum temperature or maximum and minimum temperature can be measured are related with the weathers. Weathers के related जो भी है, weathers, forecast weathers, क्योंकि उस condition में हमें पूरे दिन का जो forecast we can analyze from that. Temperature कभी कम हो सकता है, कभी increase हो सकता है. For that we use the maximum and minimum temperature. That is the another thermometer to measure the maximum and minimum temperature of the previous day reported in a weather के related जो भी information है that can be analyzed with the help of maximum and minimum thermometer. Reports are measured by a thermometer called as the maximum and minimum thermometer. Weather के related कि forecast कैसा होगा दिन का आज, तो उसमें from starting sunrise to sunset temperature can be varied. At the sunrise temperature is less, but at the midpoint or at the afternoon time the temperature will increases. At that time the temperatures are increase, decrease. For that how we measure? It's not possible for the clinical thermometer, it's not possible for the laboratory thermometer. For that a special design we make to measure weather related temperature by using the maximum and minimum thermometer. Maximum and minimum thermometer are to be used and which are related with the weather. These thermometers look at it carefully and note the highest and the lowest temperature it can measure. The range of a laboratory thermometer is generally from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. We are discuss about the laboratory thermometer. Which thermometer? Laboratory thermometer. Which thermometer can be measured from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. For that, listen here, laboratory Laboratory thermometer is there. Okay. Another, how are you? Clinical. Okay. These are the two. Clinical, we discuss about them. Laboratory thermometer, specially designed for that. Such like thermometer is there. A small. Okay. Go ahead. So laboratory thermometer, such like that thermometer is there. It consists of, first is a glass tube. Glass tube is there. Another column is there in between that. These columns called as the capillary tube. Capillary tube is there. Okay. In between capillary tubes, there is a mercury column or mercury level is there. Mercury level is there. And there is the mercury bulb is there. Okay. This is the some parts are mentioned in the laboratory thermometer. One is a glass tube, capillary tube, mercury levels, and mercury bulb. Okay. And laboratory thermometer measure the temperature ranges from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay. It can be measure other object temperature other than body temperature. Third, there is absence of kink. These are some difference. Laboratory thermometer, the temperature ranges start from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. It measures the other object temperature other than the body temperature. Body temperature measure करने के लिए we cannot use the clinical laboratory thermometer. Any other objects, we have to measure the temperature of other object which is the hot or cold. For that we use the laboratory thermometer, and to measure the body temperature we use the clinical thermometer. It is the difference between the laboratory thermometers and clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer only measure the other objects except human body temperature. There is absence of kink. What is kink? Kink are present only in a clinical thermometer. Let's show here clinical thermometer. Okay. Here is the clinical thermometer is there. I draw the diagram for that. Okay. Okay. This is another one is okay. Again, this is the glass tube. Glass tube is there. Glass tube. Okay. This is the mercury column. Okay. Mercury column is there. In that mercury is there. Mercury is there. Okay. This is about the mercury bulb. Mercury bulb is there. Okay. This is the mercury bulb. And here we kink. Here is a kink. But kink is not present in a laboratory thermometer. These is the parts are in a laboratory thermometer. One part should be there, that is called as a scale is there. Scale, which start from 35 degrees Celsius up to 42 degrees Celsius. This is called as a scale. Scale also present here also. Here is also the scale. This is a scale. And start from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Start from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. And the clinical thermometer start from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. These are both the diagrams is here. So we can write a point here also, and after that we can analyze the differences. What is the difference in laboratory thermometer and the clinical thermometer? The first difference is that the temperature start from 35 degrees Celsius to 100 and 42 degrees Celsius. Okay, sorry for that. 42 degrees Celsius. 42 degrees Celsius. First, second, it use only measure the body temperature, not other object. Okay. Second, third, kink is present. Kink is present. After that, analyzing the both the thermometers, one is the laboratory thermometer, another is the clinical thermometer. Laboratory thermometer are start range from -1 degree Celsius to -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. It measure other objects which is hot or cold, not human body temperature, and there is absence of kink. Here, it starts from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. It is only measure the body temperature. This clinical thermometer are used only measure the body temperature. Kink is present. In both the cases, here is a kink is absent, kink is present. There are some differences. There are three differences between the laboratory thermometers and clinical thermometer. What about the kink? Why? Kink is not present in a laboratory thermometer. Kink is present in a clinical thermometer. In a previous lecture, when we discussed about the clinical thermometer, I definitely know we explained the kink. What is the function of the kink? The function of the kink is that when we measure the body temperature, and that body temperature can be measured when we put that clinical thermometer below the tongue. Below the tongue, we place clinical thermometer. After that, we remove and hold vertically and measure the readings on that clinical thermometer. Hold such like that and measure the readings on that clinical thermometer. What is the exact measurement? Which are start from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Below the tongue we have to keep. After that, when we remove the clinical thermometer from the mouth, at that time, that kink is there. Suppose when we keep in a put that clinical thermometer in our mouth, after that, due to the expansion process, mercury rise its level. Mercury जो level है वो rise करने लगी. It rises its level and shows the reading. अगर यहाँ तक आती है तो it is at 36 degree Celsius. अगर यहाँ पे आता है तो 37 degree Celsius. If it present at a 37 degree Celsius, that mercury level are start from the kink to the 37 degree Celsius. When we remove or when we out from the mouth clinical thermometer, immediately that mercury level cannot be fall. That mercury level cannot be fall down due to that kink is present. Due to that kink is present here only. Due to that it stop the fall of the mercury level. So here is only kink is present. But what about the laboratory thermometer? Kink is not present because we cannot measure the body temperature. In case we cannot measure the body temperature. यहाँ पे हम body temperature measure करें क्या? No, we cannot measure the body temperature. Due to that, kink is present only in the clinical thermometer. Laboratory thermometer, there is a lack of the kink. Because when we measure the temperature of other object, if we take some water here, we take some water in a container is there. Okay. We have to measure the temperature of this water. इस वाटर का हमें टेम्परेचर मेजर करना है. देन वी यूज द क्लिनिकल थर्मामीटर एंड दैट क्लिनिकल थर्मामीटर आर डीप और दैट मर्क्यूरी लेवल और दैट मर्क्यूरी बल्ब आर प्लेस इन बिटवीन दिस वाटर. उस वाटर में हमें रखना पड़ेगा. आफ्टर दैट वी टेक दिस रीडिंग इन द सोल्यूशन ओनली और इन द वाटर ओनली. वी कैन नॉट रिमूव द थर्मामीटर. वी कैन नॉट रिमूव द लैबोरेटरी थर्मामीटर फ्रॉम द वाटर. If we remove the clinic laboratory thermometer from the water, we cannot get the correct measurement of the water. इस वाटर का हमें करेक्ट टेम्परेचर मालूम नहीं होगा जैसे हम इसको रिमूव करेंगे. because when we remove this, अगर हम इसको रिमूव कर लेते हैं, because here is not kink is present, So mercury level is suddenly fall down. We cannot get the correct measurement. From that, we have to place only here and take the readings only by using a laboratory thermometer. Again, I tell you that laboratory thermometer is the consist of the glass tube, capillary tube, scale also is there, mercury level is there also, and it start from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. It measures the other object's temperature. Kink is absent. 35 to 40 degree clinical thermometer. It is only to measure the body temperature. Kink is present. So this is a simple difference between the laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. Today's lecture we discuss only about the differences between the laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. Okay, hope you understand all the concepts are related with the laboratory thermometer as well as the clinical thermometer. Is a very important the difference. Can be asked in the exam also. Laboratory thermometers and clinical thermometer. What are the differences? These are the three major differences are found in a clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Hope you understand all the concepts, laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. Okay, if you need doubt, ask in the comment section. Okay, thank you.